Hi there, this is Thomas Ellen Berg back on the air after a year of not being able to make YouTubes. I've been an Abraham student since 1999. I discovered Jerry and Esther Hicks when I was still teaching in the public school system, and we actually worked together on the Sarah books. We used the Sarah books in my 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade classes. And we actually did a project together in which Esther allowed Solomon to speak with my kids via email for about a year. I actually have a copy of that manuscript that we put together. I'll talk about that later. But today I want to talk about the symbology of this new vortex that Abraham is bringing through. I'm sure many of you have already felt the power of this, even though it's hard to get our thoughts, our human brain thoughts, which are so habitually addicted to the past, to wrap around and expand into this new symbol of the vortex as our God self. I love reading books simultaneously and then merging the ideas together. I've always loved synthesizing books, and so I'm reading, as I'm sure many of you are, The Vortex, which is now out in paperback. You can get it at Borders, 30% off. Actually, it's a wonderful book. It's a wonderful series of lessons on breaking free of the false premises that we have been ingrained with, which I know very much about as a public school teacher. I've seen those false premises being implanted in our school children. They actually go through the many false premises one by one, helping us bring them up into consciousness and then allowing us to alchemize them and turn them from dross into gold and into new awareness, new levels of consciousness. Anyway, I'm also reading, and I'm sure some of you are, Dan Brown's book, which is called The Lost Symbol. It's the follow-up book to the very famous Da Vinci Code. And I am noticing some amazing coincidences. He talks a lot about how in the American metaphysical past, that our founding fathers believed in what they refer to as the apotheosis. And apotheosis is a term used by the Freemasons and many early metaphysicians, even up till today, of course, that means the transformation of mankind into God, divine beings. And in Washington, D.C., they actually have pictures of paintings in the rotunda of the Capitol of George Washington being alchemized and transformed into his God self. If you go into the rotunda of the Capitol building and look up, on the ceiling is a beautiful painting by an Italian painter of George Washington in white robes, surrounded by angels, surrounded by all the great gods of ancient Greece, becoming a divine Zeus-like being. There's also a statue of George Washington partially naked, appearing as Zeus, also in Washington, D.C. And so our country, America, has been on this journey ever since the first metaphysicians began to focus on this ideal, this future ideal, which obviously for them was the future, calling them forward to a new kind of life. Anyway, so in putting these two books together, I have discovered that early Christians used the symbol, I'm sure many of you know this, as of the fish. That was the symbol that they drew on the outside of the caves and the huts where they met in secret. They used the symbol because to them it meant a new age, the age of Pisces, and it also symbolized the fact that just as the fish, as it is in water, And because it's in water, it doesn't know it's in water because it's in water. It's so much an aspect of their everyday life. They use that. That was a symbol of the Christ message. Now the vortex, I believe, is going to be the new symbol of the 2012 age of the apotheosis of mankind into God-man and woman-man, and God-man, God-women, God-children, God-everything on this planet. The vortex is the new symbol. Coincidentally, that's what Dan Brown is writing about, the fact that they're, according to this fictionalized book, there is a lost symbol, which he talks about as the pyramid on the dollar, with the capstone that has never been replanted on the top of the pyramid. It's on every single dollar bill, and he says that it's a symbol of what the early founding fathers, the metaphysicians, believed was the destiny of each and every American, to embody what the pyramid symbolizes, which is that we are the pyramid ourselves. We are the flesh, blood form of man, but we're also up to the crown. We're the light of enlightenment. We're the living, loving light of God. We have the third eye. We are rising up into our God self. And so he offers that as his idea as being the lost symbol, the symbol that will free us from our past. What I love most about the vortex, however, is that Abraham is offering a symbol that seems not to just be a theory or a thought as much as actually power. As I study this book and read this book and ponder the amazing ideas in this book, I begin to understand that this vortex symbology is actually affecting my DNA and is affecting the apotheosis. I'm going to talk more about this as I am able to grok it even more. It's such an incredible quantum leap in understanding for mankind. When you think about it, we're already in the vortex of the Milky Way galaxy. I mean, and this is a picture kind of a galaxy. We're already in the vortex formed between the oh, I see a hummingbird out there enjoying my flowers on the balcony. How wonderful. We're already in the vortex supplied, represented by the Earth traversing its orbit around the sun. That is a vortex. The moon is in a vortex around the Earth. The two double helix strands of DNA are in a double vortex. We see the symbol of the vortex as a building block, an archetypal hybrid of all symbols now into a new, alive symbol, which seems to be, in my experience, acting as some kind of a key that is unlocking a new level of consciousness for me and helping me lift higher and higher and higher in my own understanding. So I'm running out of time, and I just want to thank Jerry and Esther Hicks once again for coming into my life and for offering me this wonderful teaching of Abraham. I believe Abraham is the voice of the gods, the very same gods that were represented in ancient Greece, the very same gods that were represented by the teachings of Jesus Christ and Moses. And I powerfully thank them from the bottom of my heart, and I encourage everyone to do as they say. They promise in this book that if we learn this new symbology, we will experience our apotheosis. We will experience our divine awakening. So more later. Have a wonderful day in the vortex as much as possible.